a Vax Airlift steerable pet. A Vax Air that undocks from a caddy. Very fancy indeed. Our problem today is probably not with that part here, but this bit here, this belongs to somebody I work with and have done for many years, not directly, but he's in a different department, and we swapped this over the other day in our cars. He said it stopped working, just cut out, and well, we're all really going to go straight to the cable and see, but there might be something else wrong. It is, after all, a Vax Air. So let's have a look, see what Vax Air things come and punch us in the face today, try and get it working and see how well it does work. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and Vax Air chums. How are you today? We'll clip it back together so that we have easier access. And my spidey sense experience is hopefully telling me that the cable is going to be broken somewhere. So it does feel a little bit loose as it goes into there, although I can't feel any other damage, perforations, but with heavy Vax Air, unless it's burnt itself out or there's something popped off the motor, it's usually the cable. But we are going to figure that out together. Now, I did tell him, when he came up to me a little while ago, I told him, you know, plug it back in and turn it on, because if it's overheated, it might run again. But he did that, and it indeed is not overheated. So, we need to do some investigation, and we may as well start with the really boring, simple, easy thing. Although the problem with the really boring, simple, easy thing is that if the fuse has popped, something is wrong. Oh, yep, there we go. I don't need a screwdriver. Ow! There we go. Of course it's not the fuse. Never the fuse. If it was the fuse, it wouldn't just be the fuse. So, let's get tooled up, and we shall get into here so that we can put this on the other end of the cable. Now, doing one of these isn't actually that tricky. It's just a fair few screws. There are 2 screws on this side. That one's rather tight. There we go. 2 screws there. 2 screws on the opposite side, but we then need to take the hose off just to be able to get to them. These are all the same size screws, so don't panic too much. There we go, that will come off of there. Now we can, well, more easily, and you can see it whilst I film, get to these 2 screws. Where are we? There are 2 back here. One there, one here. And you take this top one off here as well. Now, I think from memory, there we go, we can separate the back from the front and have a minuscule amount of access to all of the switch stuff. Take a photo before you go any further, because it then does that and you pull it apart. But that's fine, because what we want is this terminal here, and shove our probes maybe into all that neutral. But I can't actually get to all that neutral. Might have to make a little hole. But we can confirm or deny if it is the flex. Find the plug. We shall probe the live first because I can get to it. It could even be the switch. We have a live. Can I do anything with these neutrals? If I just poke a little tiny hole in there, we don't have a neutral, but I don't trust that I'm even getting on a neutral at all, which is a bit of a pain. I don't think we have a neutral. Oh no, we do have a neutral. Neutral. Live. There is definitely something wrong, because our neutral is our live, but I'm actually wondering if, because it will be going around the circuit of the motor, is it even a decent reading? Oh, I don't know, but this feels awful. This does feel quite broken. I'm just going to confirm by staring at it and see if I was right or wrong. I don't trust my connections. With our cable fully removed, I have confirmed that the problem is with the live. Something on the live wire is broken, which is always the way. These Vax cables are awful. My big bag of scrap cable that I give to the scrapper is always full of this, or bits that are left. If I need a nice short length of flat core, I'll go chop a bit out of it. But for now, it can start. We'll cut the crimps off and the plug, and then we need this. It's broken, and we're probably going to be saying bye-bye to at least that top bit soon. We need that, because we've put another plug on here. Now it's also a great time to give all of the little nooks and crannies of dust and a clean out whilst you can get to them, because these things do leak dust. Then I'm going to be fancy, I'm going to be nice to my colleague and get my new flex out. Now, this is thinner than anything else I've got in the shed, and I don't think I've got anything as long in the shed, which is the killer with these, because they do have nice long flexes, and if you take a random flex from like an old cylinder, it don't work, because it's just too short. I am dribbling all over this. You could use WD-40, or you could do what I'm probably about to do off camera and go make a cup of tea and dunk this in some boiling water so that it can soften up. But before I do that, let us figure out if I even have enough flex on this. We put this flex on a Henley once, and the lady hasn't needed another one since. And these drums are like 20 quid from Screwfix. It needs to be used. I'm sick of looking at it. No, don't you wind yourself back up. You're not staying. Heck no. There we go. And then, we'll do a little bit more for luck. And I can now choppy. Where's my snips? There's my snips. Chop this. I'm going to get the rubber boot onto one end of it, and we'll come back and we're fitting it to the machine. A little while later, show you this without ripping it all apart, we have a new flex through the original cord grip going into the circuit. Now is just the fiddly job of putting it all back together. That little red plug goes in there. I'm not going to be able to show you really, because you have to sort of do this, fiddle everything in from underneath, but your switch goes down, this neutral terminal sort of stays there, and then, oh my goodness, this is going completely the wrong side again. You've got to make sure that all the wiring is, run and correct. That actually sits there in a little channel, so that can stay there. Then we want to make sure that the big blob of neutral wires sits down there, and actually I can possibly show you this, because you'll know when it's on, it will all sit rather nicely. Just almost like that, but there's obviously something caught. But yeah, you get it all sat nicely, do it for the screws. Then with all that together and a plug on the end, just a modern black plastic plug, let's see if it lands. Oh dear. Well, the motor works really well. What doesn't work quite so well is this filter. Holy moly. So we have transitioned. We have fixed the machine. Now we're gonna service it, but I guess it would be remiss of us to not put all of this back together and airflow test it and see if we can make it jump a good few miles an hour just by cleaning and washing the filters. It's probably going to be quite painful for me, because all we've really got is this little hose, but it should have all right water lift. Yeah, 70. Well, we've got 7, 8.5 miles an hour, but that's definitely not good enough. So let's just take the V-Tough Mini and fill it full of carbon dust and vacuum dust. A few days later, we are back with a nice trip through the washing machine and dried, that's the key bit, filter, giving everything else a vacuum off. This is not what the machine's here for. I'm mostly only going above and beyond the call of any duty because we're filming it, and he's a colleague of mine, I've known him for years. We have effectively saved this machine, even if we stuck a new cable on it. It wouldn't have lasted very long otherwise, and now it should have far better airflow. If I turn the socket on. Certainly does. Let us remeasure the air. A solid 16.1 up from whatever it was before. It's been a couple of days now. I can't remember, but I am sure there will be an improvement. And we can say that we have saved yet another flavour of Vax Air. It has a far better cable than it once did. It now runs and will pick up dares. I mean, I might prank him and we'll close that slider on the floor head and see if he even notices that it is now difficult to push. But until the next broken Vax, of which there will be one, we can call this one done. It's slightly different as well, being this lift-away version, but it's effectively the same job. It's just a slightly different entry point to get to where the cable is. Otherwise, same thing, the cable goes always on these machines. Have you ever had a Vax Air? Did it ever suddenly stop working? Yeah, do you think you might have figured out what it might have been? Let me know in the comments down below. But until the next time, I and some other broken vacuum cleaner will see you soon. Bye bye.